Hello, welcome back to Al Talks. Yeah, gonna this week's episode. Gonna have. I've recently been watching. Well, I started watching. Not that I've been recently watching. Some of the shorts from Mad TV that Bobby Lee did. As I mentioned before, big time fan of Bobby Lee and his comedy, and I never really watched any of the Mad TV stuff, but I decided I'd give it a go. So I started watching it, and my favorite so far is the ones where Tank is involved. Tank is this character. He's a he's got a Daewoo, like a pimped out Daewoo with it's like lime green with flames on it and stuff. And usually Steve, Bobby Lee's brother, appears in some of the shorts. And yeah, just trying to get cameras a bit. Don't know what this would be. A little bit, yeah. Maybe I should move because I'm not centered. Kind of want this to be in the center. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so his shorts, they're really I found them great, because you really kind of see where how Bobby gets his like from the sketches you see, like I can't remember where I read it, but I read somewhere people complaining about, I talked about episode two, yeah, in episode 9, like 10 episodes ago, that the Key and Peele sketches, because they were on Mad TV as well, Jordan Peele and Keegan Michael Key, where they appeared in Mad TV as well. That's how Bobby met them. And they were saying that some of those sketches weren't funny, and I mean, like, I'm just doing stand-up open mics at the moment. I haven't even sketches or improv is nothing I've considered, even though I did receive an invitation pre-COVID, obviously, to go to an improv class in Dublin. I think I will still do that because it'd be an interesting challenge for myself. Because a lot of comedians that I've listened to on their podcast, they say that improv really helped them with their stand-up. So it's I'll take any help I can get. So we'll definitely try and get that going at a later stage, I think. And yeah, but I mean, they were saying how those sketches weren't funny, but I mean, in order for a sketch to be created, it takes so much, like, because it has to be like, I only know a little bit about it, but I know it's not an easy process. So but I suppose people, some people will, not everyone will find you're funny, if I can put it that way, I suppose. And just keep an eye on the encoder. Still going okay, no problems like there was before. It looks to be pretty good. I think I was just overloading my computer really, because this computer I bought for just to do light office work and stuff, and I don't use this for gaming or whatever else. I have a console for that. So anyway, and so yeah, there. No, at least that's um, yeah, the computer's a bit a bit. I think we're having problems again. Maybe having problems again. But I don't see any encoder ones. We'll continue. Don't think it might have to be a short one for this week, unfortunately. But so yeah, so that's but another wasn't finished with Bobby Lee this week. I listened. George Lopez started a podcast called "Oh My God Hi," but George Lopez he always says that in the little voice, kind of like Fluffy does these voices. And it's a really good podcast. I'll put a link down at the bottom in the description. But Bobby Lee came out because he wanted to meet Gil Carrillo, who was in the Netflix documentary The Night Stalker, who eventually he was responsible for eventually capturing Richard Ramirez, who was an infamous serial killer. And I listened to the podcast yesterday, and it was one of the most captivating that I found in recent memory of mine, I suppose. I just keep an eye on I don't know, the computer seems to be unhappy. But anyway, and he was that episode was an incredible episode because there was humor in it and it was very informative. Now I haven't watched the documentary myself, but I think I will after this, after listening to this podcast. George Lopez even said to Gil Carrillo, he's a Mexican American, and he says, I love the fact that the person who, you're like a Chicano hero, and goes because it goes, to me, in my eyes, you're this huge hero that also happens to be a Chicano. But and Bobby Lee was making a joke, is like, oh, I don't know any Chicano heroes, and George Lopez sitting there going, kind of look at me, and yeah, it was it was very informative and very interesting podcast, but it I don't these kind of he went on about having met Manson and Bundy because he was in the LA County Sheriff's Homicide Bureau for 38 years, so he but one thing he did mention is he said a cop saved his life when he was 17. Because of a cop that helped him out, he was out in the street and he helped him out, that he enrolled when he was 17 and went to Vietnam to kind of mature. And this to me, like, especially when I think I've talked before about Oliver Stone, who did 2 tours of Vietnam, just to kind of please his father, and for me, I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe it's strange for me because I mean there is wars going on right now, but to kind of put that ultimate sacrifice for yourself and for your country, that it confounded me, really, to be honest. This sense of selflessness, and and I truly think that obviously Oliver Stone and Gil Carrillo, he is a Chicano hero for the work that he did with the Homicide Bureau, and it was a very informative podcast. But I will definitely drop the link down. Unfortunately, VidHit has not sponsored me yet, neither have Manscaped. I don't have a shiny Tesla outside, and then no job offers from Elon Musk, but here's hoping maybe in the future somebody with like to pop along. I'd also like to call out BetterHelp. If you could sponsor me, that'd be great. I know, especially during the pandemic, this service has become invaluable to a lot of people that have been suffering with mental health issues, and so yeah, it'd be great if I could have that as a sponsor on the show. But well, I'm kind of worried about the computer, so I'm going to leave this episode there pretty much. Thank you for watching, and we'll resume next week.